Hello, this is Sweet June 2010. How's everybody doing? Pretty late. Should be sleeping because I got to get up early for work tomorrow, but took a little power nap earlier, so I'm still awake. I'm a night person. Um, anyway, I want to talk about uh, lately. I've been thinking about with the government cuts and everything that's going on. That was going on and all that shutdown stuff that was going on, business with the government. Um, I've been thinking about, they cut food stamps, and I don't want to get into a lot of talk about politics, but they cut food stamps and everything, and you know, and it really amazes me. They cut student aid, and it really affected me because now I'm facing the possibility of not being able to get my degree. I've been working for so many years, so hard for so many years, going to school and everything, and um, now they decided a couple of years to put a cap on the Pell Grants. So now, and my loans are maxed out, so now I can't finish school, unless I get some scholarships or something, and those are hard to get. But anyway, to make a long story short, they cut student aid. So now, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that's in that situation. And so I was reading a blog where people were, because they were talking about people, these fast food workers are protesting because they feel like they're not getting paid enough. Some of them been working at Burger King or McDonald's or whatever for years, and only making $8 an hour and stuff. And so they're protesting and everything, saying that they need more money and everything. And I was reading a blog and where people were weighing in about you know these people and everything, and a lot of people on there were very insensitive. They were saying, well, they just need to go to college and they just need to get a better job, and and all this, and nobody told them, fast food work is for high school people, and nobody told them to work in fast food. They could get another job, they can go to college. They was making it sound like, life was just so simple. They was just making it sound like. So, I made the comment, I weighed in and I made a comment like, it's not the only industry first of all, it's not the only industry where that you don't make any money. I've worked in healthcare, I've worked in retail, now I'm working in childcare, and all those industries that I worked in were low paying jobs. So I mean, they're not the only people that's not making any money. There's a whole lot of us out here in other industries aren't making any money. But however, that's another blog. That's not what I'm want to talk about. Anyway, a lot of people were coming on there saying, "Oh, well, these people, they need to get another job and all this, and they need to go back to school," and this really, really being judgmental towards these people that work in the fast food industry. And I was like, I said, you people are saying that life is so easy. You thinking that life is so simple. It's not as simple as, I said, they go to school to get thousands of dollars in student loan debt, only to still not be guaranteed to get a decent job, and it's just, what I would be thinking is that, and here they cut food stamps, and saying that a lot of people that's single and everything don't need to get them because they need to get a job. And first of all, what jobs? I mean, it's a lot of jobs out here that's not even out here that people can't even get, and you know, it's not as simple as just somebody just going out and getting a job. You know, I mean, I have a friend, in California, and he's been unemployed for months. Over a year he's been unemployed, and he's been looking for a job and looking for a job, and he still can't find a job. He went back to school, still can't find a job. So, it's it's no guarantees. Jobs are just, the jobs are very, very hard to get. A lot of times when you do get a job, they're talking about some $8 an hour. So, a lot of people are working in those industries. A lot of older people, there's people, different segments of the population that's working in that industry because of the recession, and this economy has just gotten so bad to the point to where people just kind of taking whatever they can get, so they can get some kind of income coming in. So to say that, well, that's for high school people or people just out of high school working, that's really, really, stupid to say that, because nowadays with this economy being so bad, people just taking whatever they can get at any age. It's really sad. But what bothers me is, they cut the food stamps, and then there was reading another blog, and people were talking about, well, people need to get up off their butt and work, and they need to do this and that and the other. And it's like, most people that are on food stamps are working. What they don't realize is that most people, I have to check the statistics, but a lot of people that are on food stamps are working. I work almost full time, and I need a little assistance. And so for people to just, I think it's ignorant for people to say, well, you need to get a job and all that. Well, what if you are working and you're still not making enough? I always say, well, they don't pay you enough to eat. You're so busy trying to pay bills and pay rent, and then you need a little help, because you're just not making enough money. So I just hate how, and I think a lot of the reason why they cut the food stamps was because of that mentality, that the mentality that people that are receiving the food stamps are less than. You're lazy, you whatever, you got your hand out, all this kind of stuff, and taxpayers, saying, well, I'm paying my tax dollars, and for these people, you know what, if I was in a different income bracket and I was paying taxes, I don't have a problem with feeding children that need to be fed. I wouldn't have a problem with helping with paying into the food stamp system, because if it means that a child doesn't have to go hungry, a lot of times when people make these ignorant comments, they don't think about the children. All they focus on is the adults. But what about the children? There's a lot of children out there that is affected by these cuts. And the food banks, food bank here in Michigan, they were saying that they had an all-time high of people coming in getting assistance, and they're trying to do whatever they can to fill the need because of the food stamp cuts. And so it's just really sad that we live in a country that judges poor people, that really, really, really looks down on poor people. This country really looks down really bad on poor people. And it's really sad, because I know me, I've struggled for many years. I've worked, and I've been working, and I've been going to school for years. I mean, I've been doing it for years. And I'm not one of these people that they say, well, are lazy. And no, there was times I've worked 2 jobs and still didn't have enough money coming in. And so I'm not one of these people that they try to classify as being lazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people that's on assistance that's not lazy and that are working, and they have children, they need the help. But it's just really sad how this country looks down on poor people, that looks down on people that, are receiving food assistance and viewed as less than because they receive assistance. And Some people, you know, are ashamed to even go get the help, even if they need it, because of that, because that stigma, you know. And it's really sad. It really bothers me how, you know, the poor people in this country are looked down upon because, you know, they need a little help. You know, the Bible says that judging you will be judged. The Bible would say we're not even supposed to be judging people, that we are supposed to help the poor. And like I said, if I was in a different income bracket and I was paying taxes, I would not have a problem with paying, as long as I know that some child was going to get fed. And then I was reading another blog, and people were talking about, you know, they was talking about the food stamps. And people were talking about, well, people on food stamps be buying, talking about what people on food stamps buy. You know, they all up in your business trying to, you know, worried about what people on food stamps buy. Like, you know, they buying steaks and they buying candy and cookies and all that kind of stuff, and you know, and they should regulate what the government should regulate, and you know them, you know, and they should be able to buy certain things. And then what kind of country would that be? What kind of country would this be? To tell, I mean, I know that it's the government's money and all that stuff, but to tell you that you can only buy certain things, I mean, isn't that? I mean, the person. I mean, you know, a lot of people already feel humiliated that they got to go get the help, but you're going to humiliate them even further by saying they can only get certain things. You know, and it's just humiliating. And I know me. I know sometimes. A lot of times, you know, I go in the store and spend cash. When I go to the store and spend cash, and there was different times where, you know, I wasn't even on food stamps, and I spent cash money, and I bought the same things with my cash that I do with food stamps. If I wanted some ice cream, I bought ice cream. If I wanted cookies, I bought cookies. But I also bought vegetables. I also bought, you know, milk and necessities, you know, and fruits and yogurt. I also bought those things too. But did I buy snacks? Yes, I did. And I bought the same things with my cash, that I did with my stamps. You know, I mean, my taste in food doesn't change just because I have cash. You know, so it's like, you know, because I like eating healthy. You know, I like eating healthy, but then again, I like, you know, me and my son, you know, we like to have a snack too. But I try not to get too much, you know. But that's the point I made on this blog. I said, you know, well, I buy the same things with my cash than I do with my food stamps. You know, so I mean, I kind of balance it out. So for somebody to come and tell me, oh, you getting them cookies and you spending food stamps, you shouldn't be getting those cookies on food stamps. You know, that's just ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous. And I just think that the poor people get judged so badly. You know, I just think poor people get judged really badly, you know, and stigmatized. Because you need it, just because you're in a position to where you need help, and there's a lot of people that's in that situation. You know, a lot of people, more people are getting food stamps now. More people are getting assistance from the government because of all this recession and all this stuff that we've been going through over the past few years. People been getting laid off. People been losing jobs and everything, and you know, and there's some outsourcing that's going on as well, and people just need the help, and then some people are just too ashamed to get the help. You know, it's like, and then, you know, can you blame them? I mean, it's humiliating because, you know, they judge poor people so badly. I mean, my mentality, my thought is, I'm not going to be too proud to get any help. You know, pride never put any food on my table. Pride is not going to put food on my table. It's not going to feed my son. So I just do what I got to do. I know that I go to work every day. I get my butt out of bed every day, and I know that I go to work, and I know that I'm out here doing the best I can. You know, my last job, they pretty much pushed me out the door, and cut my hours down real low. So I was in a real bad situation to the point to where I had to, try to get some help, and I pretty much had to start over, because I was making more there than what I'm making now. So, well, that's the story of my life. I'm always starting over. So I pretty much had to start over. So I know I'm out here doing the best I can do, and so I'm not going to let anybody make me feel bad about getting a little help. And I've worked and I went to school for years, and so my goal was to try to become financially independent. I want, that was always my goal, and now, I feel pretty bummed out that I haven't reached that goal yet. Well, that's another blog. So, I mean, I just really hate how poor people are stigmatized in this country, that people look down so badly on the poor, that, we're labeled as being lazy, and, just because you get a little, you need a little help, and then the people that's sitting up there judging, they don't know, you might look up and you might be in the same situation as that person one day. Would you want someone to judge you? Would you want someone to talk about you? If you lose your job and you got to go down there and you got to ask for some food stamps, would you want someone to judge you? Would you want somebody to call you lazy and all this stuff? And you go to the store and you buy your normal groceries that you would buy if you had the cash. Would you want somebody looking at your food that you're using, you buy with your food stamps, and say, oh, well, you shouldn't get those cookies because you're on food stamps, or maybe you don't need that steak? Because it's not only sweet things that people talk about. Oh, well, they shouldn't be. There's certain cuts of meat like steak you shouldn't be buying on food stamps. You shouldn't be buying T-bones on food stamps. This is ridiculous. So, I can't have a steak because I got food stamps. Steak is protein. It's meat. It's protein. So what is that? What are your suggestions? What I'm supposed to buy a bunch of processed stuff? Is that what I'm supposed to be eating on food stamps? Processed foods? I can't have steak. What, I'm supposed to go in there and get a bunch of lunch meat and processed stuff that's not always good for you all the time? Because I'm on food stamps, so I don't have the right to buy a steak. Well, steak is protein. It's meat. It's protein. So basically, literally, what you're saying is, you can eat steak. Steak is a part of a balanced diet. So basically, what you're saying is, because I'm on food stamps, I don't have the right to have a steak. I don't have a right to a balanced diet. So that's just not cool. That's not cool. And it's people. It's already humiliating enough that you have to ask for the help. And then for people to sit there and judge like that is wrong. It's wrong because you might look up one day and you might be in a position to where you need the help. And nobody wants to feel like that. Nobody wants to be judged. Because the way this government is going, anybody's liable to be in that situation. Some people don't think, some people are so haughty that they don't think they'll ever be in that situation. But they cut some government jobs. I know during that government shutdown, some government people got laid off and all this kind of stuff. It was all kind of craziness going on. So you never know what the government. Nobody seen the student aid cuts, the Pell Grant cuts, and all that. Nobody's seen that coming. I didn't see it coming. I was blindsided. Nobody's seen that coming. We don't never know what this government's gonna do. We don't never know what they're going to do. So people don't know what situation they're going to be in. Because, if you're working one day, you might be working. Next day, you might be, it's like my last job. I was almost putting in 40 hours a week. And everything was good till all of a sudden, people decided that they didn't want me there anymore. And next thing you know, I'm down to less than 20 hours a week. So anybody can find themselves in that situation. And a lot of things in life are beyond our control. you know, people tend to think that most things are in our control, but really, when the reality of it is, it's most things in life is not in our control. That was something wasn't in my control. I, you know, was doing everything I could to hold on to my job, but then because these people being racist didn't want me there. So, with a situation like that, you know, and if it's a situation to where you lose your job, you know, if you lose your job, then you lost it. You know, so you got to go get the help. You got to file the unemployment. You got to go get the food assistance and everything. And that stuff and I mean, as long as, now there are some people, now granted, there are some people that try to sponge off the system and try to live and beat the system and try to live off the system and don't try to do nothing to help themselves. But that is not representative of everybody that's on assistance. A lot of people that are on assistance are working. Particularly here in Michigan, they won't even let you. They won't give you cash assistance unless you're showing them some kind of evidence that you're looking for a job. If you're not looking for a job, they're not going to give it to you. You know, here in Michigan, it will help you if you're willing to help yourself. They're not going to give you anything unless you're showing them that you're trying to do something. Now that's here in Michigan. I don't know about these other states. In Michigan, they're not going to let you sit up on welfare. It used to be like that, but it ain't like that no more. They didn't change a lot of stuff. So a lot of people that's getting assistance, food assistance, are not just sitting around being lazy. They're getting up, going to work every day, and they need the extra help because the jobs are just not paying enough money. So I just wish that people would stop judging people that's on assistance. It's just not right, you know, because one day you might look up and you might be in that same situation. We got to be careful, you know, we got to be really careful, because you never know what situation we're gonna wind up in. Okay, I might talk about this some more. Got some other things related in that area that I want to talk about. Stay tuned, and once again, I appreciate my subscribers, and thank you for subscribing to me, and you guys have a blessed evening. Sweet June 2010.